Right, we're live eventually. Sorry about that, guys. Hey, welcome to the Freeze Company podcast, the very first. My system must be a bit slow. My apologies to everyone watching. Right, this is the first one. They're making our debut, and don't worry about the Freeze Company. I think I'm not sure there's 4 of us today, but don't worry. There sometimes might be 3, but we'll have to work around that. So. We're all City fans, obviously. So I think before we start, my name's Bernard. Don't worry about the Charles Deneen. That's my Sunday name. Just call me Bernard or anything you want. I'll answer to it. I've supported City since the mid-60s. I lived in Withington. I used to walk up the road, UT Road, to go to the games at Main Road. And then obviously now I'm in the South Stand. I'm in the singing section in the old railway seat. So that's my little pedigree, very short and sweet. And I'll introduce you to Abdul. Abdul, how are you, mate? And how have you got to be a City fan?
I'm glad, Charles. Thank you for the introduction. Well, my name's Abdul Mois, as you might see. I'm actually a City fan from Pakistan. So and as a family, this has been running in the family. My dad, my mother, they both supported City ever since the time. Then I just started supporting City as well, and I'm just loving it.
Super, fantastic. That's Abdul. Paul, what's your experience? How did you come to be a Blue?
Passed down from my granddad to my dad. My gran used to live on Thornton Road, which backed onto the Kippax car park. So, if I'm honest, being old as I can walk, I've been a City fan really. I think my first game I can remember was about '78. I think it was testimonial game, Mike Doyle's testimonial. I've been before, but that's the first game I properly remember. Like you, I think I'm on the opposite side to you, Bernard. I think I'm in block 111. So right. I'm in the other side of the singing section. So right on the seg line next to the away fans. I absolutely love it.
Super. Right. And the last guest we've got today is Stuart. Stuart, what's your, where are you? I do like blind date this, isn't it? Stuart, what's your information?
I grew up in Northington and Sale, and my family lived in Moss Side, and everyone's just City fans, really. I started going with my stepdad when I was about 5. Before that, he used to take me to the reserve games and night matches when you could just go and pay for get in the reserves at Main Road. I've been doing that since I was like little. And then I used to share my great granddad's season ticket in the North Stand. South Stand 118 now, though.
Right, super. Great. All right, guys, let's get on with it. Let's get on with the subjects. First of all, we're going to have a look at, of course, that wonderful game yesterday. Chelsea 0, Manchester City 1. Drink it in. Absolutely fantastic. The wonderful Jesus. But let's go back to the start. Let's go back to the lineup. 9 changes, wasn't it, to the Wickham game, which didn't surprise me particularly. We went with Ederson, Walker, Diaz, Laporte, Cancelo, Rodri, KDB, Bernardo, Jesus, Foden and Grealish. Paul, to you first, mate. What did you think of the lineup? Did you think that was the best you could do? Was there someone missing that you wanted in that team that wasn't playing?
To be honest with you, I think that's the strongest. That's my team I would have picked. If I could have picked the team yesterday, that's the team I would have gone for. And quite rightly so. I mean, you looked at that performance yesterday, but I was excited when I saw the team. And sometimes you look at the team and you're thinking, oh, this is on today. And that's exactly what I thought when I saw that team. I thought, it's balanced left-hand side, right-hand side, midfield. We've got the holder in there. And I thought game on as soon as I saw the team.
Yeah, spot on. Abdul, what did you think? Were you the same view, or was there anyone you wanted to see that perhaps wasn't starting?
No, it's fine. Whatever Paul said, that was absolutely spot on. This has to be one of the best teams Pep has ever placed against Chelsea. Shame he could have done that against Chelsea in the UCL final, but it's okay. It's okay. Yeah. Rodri, obviously, he's actually bamboozled us with his injuries. We thought that Laporte and Stones, all of these are going to be out for 2 weeks, but no, they played against Chelsea and they played absolutely brilliantly. So I'm happy with the result and with the selection with Pep.
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of mind games going on, wasn't it, with Pep and this team? And I think, when I picked the team, I didn't think we'd have certain players back. So Stuart, what do you think? Anything different to what we're all saying?
No, it is the best team, and I do like to see Fernandinho play in the middle though in certain games because I think he gives you a bit of grit. But I thought Rodri was bang on yesterday, so I wouldn't have changed it really, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, Rodri for me, he's sort of growing a bit this season. I know it's early days, but he seems to be progressing greatly this season. So we're all pretty happy with that team. I personally, I just, with the players available, I don't think there could have been any difference. Perhaps Stones might have got in it if he was fully fit, but obviously on the basis that Diaz is a monster and Diaz and Laporte seems to work okay. I don't think there's any arguments whether Stones would have got in or not, to be honest with you. Right, let's talk about the first half. Obviously, we started on fire. We could see what we were doing. We had Chelsea were panicking. Let's be honest about it. The bottles were going that opening sequence of the game. But what did you think when we weren't sort of scoring? I mean, what go over to you on Stuart on this. Obviously, we've done this before, haven't we? We dominated teams like this, and we weren't creating much. Let's be honest about it. So, what are your initial thoughts? Say for the first half, what was happening on the pitch?
I said to my lad at half time, I said, I'm going to get a drink because we're going to get beat 1-0. I said, we're not going to win. We're not going to score. I said, we've had so many chances. We should have been 3-up at half time. And then I thought, well, this is the sort of game now where we'll just get beat 1-0. And I couldn't believe it. But then when we scored, I was buzzing.
So did you think there was anything like Chelsea were doing special? Were you impressed with Rudiger, Abdul? Were you impressed in that first half? Rudiger was obviously a solid man at the back, wasn't he? What a superstar he is. Were you impressed like I was, tongue-in-cheek here, obviously, with that first half Chelsea display against us, Abdul? What did you think?
I mean, the first half, I have my thoughts are opposite of Stuart, actually. We were dominating, and even when the second half started, I know we were going to score goals because we played absolutely beautiful football. We were trying to break the lineup at the back. Obviously, Chelsea pushing almost all of their players in the box. That's what I've seen. They've brought almost 8 onto the whole team at the back. So I've seen that we're breaking it, they're dominating, obviously pressing hard, which we should do for every match. We've been dominating, and it has been a perfect first half for us.
Yeah, well, on to you, Paul. Yeah, I thought Tuchel was very animated, wasn't he, that first half? I think he was sort of telling them to get out, basically, because obviously I don't think they were crammed in their own half there. But I think what Stuart and Abdul are saying there, but what worried me was that I think Chelsea had a couple of chances where they sort of broke away and we didn't look totally convincing at the back. So what were your sort of thoughts as it progressed?
I'm with Stuart on this. I was sat there and I was about to tweet sort of like it's got classic 1-0 all over this for Chelsea, hasn't it? I think we're old school when it comes to the thinking, aren't we? It's, you can be all. We were absolutely battered them. We were absolutely all over them. We were just missing that goal. Whether that goal would have come if we'd have had a striker, if we'd have had Lukaku up front, we don't know. But that's not how we play. Let's not have it. Let's not be mugs here. That Chelsea team, they were top of the table and they've got great defence. They've kept a lot of teams out, so it was no surprise to me the way that Chelsea played. They were glorified Wimbledon, aren't they? They just defend. They've got a dirty player in the side. That skillful unit, Rudiger. He's in the side, shoring it all back up there. He's a broken leg waiting to happen, that fella, and he's. I can't believe he actually plays football, to be honest. I think it's a disgrace that these players like him stealing a living in the Premier League. It's wrong. But yeah, apart from that, I mean, first half we needed that goal, didn't we? We needed a goal.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think when we go back to Rudiger, I don't know, was it that one on Ruben Diaz where he sort of backed into him, very Harry Kane-esque, if you like. He's good at that, isn't he? When he backs into a centre half who's actually gone up and actually makes him tumble over him. So I mean, perhaps we're being a bit. I mean, he's a German international, is he, Rudiger? I'm not too sure. I think the German manager was watching. Perhaps he was obviously trying to double impress him on the day. So I think Stuart touched upon it there, obviously, and I think Paul did as well. About obviously 0-0 at half time. We'd had a lot of the ball, a lot of possession. I think we ended up with 60% possession. I think we had a bit more in that first half, to be honest with you, because obviously Chelsea became more animated in the second half. Pep doesn't make changes, does he, guys? He doesn't put subs on or do anything different. Was there anyone who perhaps in that first half you thought wasn't doing it for City, Abdul? Do you think there's anyone who wasn't, working hard in that first half?
No, actually, I don't think anyone. Everybody was working at their highest. Everyone was perfect for me, dominating, pressing. Everybody was absolutely perfect for me. I don't think they needed to be changes in the first half or even the second. But Gabby obviously wasn't getting the ball too much. Phil Foden actually, he also wasn't getting the ball too much, and that. So maybe Pep tried to give him a chance. Maybe try score a goal, but it wasn't to be. But still.
Yeah. Stuart, if you were Pep at half time and you think, I'm going to make a change here, we're not scoring, who would you brought on? Would you brought Sterling on? Because obviously he likes playing Sterling. Would you have made any changes at half time?
Not on the basis of the game yesterday. No, I wouldn't. I think, like Abdul was saying, I thought we played pretty perfect for the first half. It was a quality team performance. And at half time, I don't think it needed any changes being made. Obviously, there isn't really a way to make a change. You can't make the breakthrough because we don't really play with that striker focal point. You're just changing. You can't change the formation. You're just sort of changing the personnel. So it won't really have any change on the team really.
Yeah, I mean, I thought at half time that Chelsea couldn't play any worse than they did that first half. They couldn't cope. So Tuchel was going to have an inspiration. He's going to get his own tactical, boring defending brain working and come up with a way of actually doing a better second half. Did you think that, Paul? Did you think Chelsea would up the game immediately in the second half, or did you think it was going to be more of the same?
I think they had to be honest. They had no option because the goal was going to be coming. I mean, I know it's easy to say this in hindsight, and I'm not trying to be a clairvoyant Clinton Baptiste or anything, but I thought KDB was struggling a little bit. I don't know. His radar wasn't on it. His passes weren't making it. So if a change was, I think it was going to be there. I know he wouldn't have made it at half time, and with somebody like Kevin De Bruyne, you can't make a half time decision with him. But I think as the game went on, I think he's not fully fit. Let's have it right. And he played midweek and was outstanding. So for him to play 180 minutes within a few days of each other, I think he did right to bring him off eventually.
Yeah. So Stuart, I'm going to come to you and ask you about 8 minutes into the second half. Our sniffer Jesus was on the ball, wasn't he? What was the goal? What was the goal to you? How did you see that goal when it went in?
I was seeing it from behind the goal. I can't believe it went in. It seemed to go in slow motion. I struggle to understand why Mendy is such a good goalkeeper and then didn't even move for it when it seemed to move so slowly into the net. Couldn't believe it had gone in when it went in.
And what do you think? Do you think Cancelo deserves good credit for that, for actually having a shot and getting it on target and causing the defence problems? And obviously they couldn't react quick enough. They couldn't clear it. Could they just hit them? And obviously Jesus was in the right time. Do you think the defenders could have done anything better, Chelsea defenders? Stuart?
No, I don't think. Well, probably because it went in, so they could obviously defend better than a goal, can't they?
I'll tell you what, Stuart. I'll just put it to Abdul now. If that had fallen to Sterling, right, in the box and not Jesus, I mean, would he have been clinical and hit the target? Would he have done double pirouettes and spinned and turned and lost the ball? I mean, what do you think? Do you think Jesus deserves full credit, Abdul, for that goal?
He definitely does. He's the one that scored us that amazing goal. I was jumping around when he scored that goal. I was so thankful that he scored that goal. And then if that was given to Sterling, I would have prayed that he would have scored that because he hasn't been in form lately. So you never know what he might score, he might not score. So, yeah.
What were your feelings, Paul, when it's rippled? When it rippled, I mean, it didn't ripple. When it trumbled.
It's a nice word, though. We'll have that word, rippled. Yeah. It trumbled. That's another one. It trumbled
over the line. What were your thoughts?
It's like Stuart. It was like delayed reaction. I mean, I've kind of got used to delayed reactions with VAR now, so I kind of have a bit of delay myself when I jump. I was watching it sat in bed yesterday, to be honest. I think, not that I'm lazy, I'm not just got up or anything. It's just where my TV was at the time and the missus wouldn't let me watch it downstairs. So, as you say, I didn't see the deflection at first. So I think that's why Mendy looked, a bit wrong-footed and what have you. But it was needed. I think Sterling would have scored it because he didn't have a lot of time to think. When he's got a lot of time to think, Sterling, that's when he cocks it up. But, when it's instinct and he just hits it, happy days.
Well, it's 1-0. Is Pep going to suddenly change and become Tuchel and go all defensive for the last 30 odd minutes or whatever it was? Obviously, probably not. Obviously, but all hell did let loose with Chelsea. All of a sudden, they realised they might have to score a goal and do some attacking. So, what were your thoughts on how Abdul and how Chelsea progressed the game after that, and how did City cope with it? Did we cope all right with it?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, definitely. After we scored that goal, you could see that Chelsea were attacking. No more of that defending, parking the bus, no more. So the Chelsea players were just going ahead, trying to score, but obviously our defense being one of the best in the world, definitely kept those Chelsea players out, especially Ruben Diaz. That has to be one of our best signings ever. A great captain, by the way. He could be a future captain.
Yeah, I don't think any of us disagree with that. I think Diaz has sort of put his name up there for future reference. Going to you, Stuart, we did have one or two chances to go 2-0 ahead. I remember a Grealish effort that was just tipped. Mendy, I think Mendy's a great goalkeeper. I like Mendy. I think he's a fantastic goalkeeper. Better than Kepa, obviously. I was a bit gutted when he was when Mendy was named in the team. But I think Grealish had a good chance there, Stuart. Did you think we needed that second one, or do you think, was your old City head on there thinking, one's not enough, we're going to struggle here? What did you think?
Definitely thought we needed a second goal. I was sat with my lad, and I said to my lad, I said, how long has this game been going on since we've scored? So it feels like I've watched 2 games, and it's still like 20 minutes left or something. And but Grealish was clean through, and I thought, he's got to go in, and then he should have just put it a bit further in there to the post. You just see him whack it straight at Mendy, and I just thought, that's a spurn chance. And then I could just see him breaking down the other end and catching us because we pushed so far forward. He did it in the first half, didn't he, where they just threw it over the top and they nearly had the chance. And I thought I could see one of them coming if we didn't get a second. But luckily, like you say, Diaz was a beast all afternoon. Didn't
And you, Paul, when Havertz come on, did you have that visions of him scoring like he did back in May at that glorious event in Portugal for the old Chelsea boys? Did you see Havertz doing that to us when he came on?
You know what? I was more annoyed listening to the commentary, and Fletch must have mentioned about 50 times that Havertz won the game for Chelsea in the Champions League. So I was more sort of swearing at the TV screen and didn't take much notice for a bit. But you knew that he was going to come on and do something, didn't you? It always happens to us, doesn't it? But we made Lukaku look like he was playing for Man United again yesterday, didn't we? To be honest, Diaz had him in his pocket, didn't he? They didn't get anything, did he? Didn't get a sniff.
No, I mean, let's face it, he didn't have much help, did he? Let's be honest about it. Like, even obviously when they were 1-0 down, they were hoofing it up, weren't they? Starting to get panicky, etc. But I must admit, I was hoping perhaps Pep had sent, say, Werner on at some stage. But obviously he didn't appear till very late on, did he? I mean, I thought about 75 minutes, 80 minutes, obviously get to that last 10 or 15 minutes. Did you want to see any particular subs made, Abdul? Did you think he should have put someone on there?
Yeah, obviously, KDB, what Paul said, that he wasn't performing too well, so that's a good thing that Pep subbed him off. But no, I actually didn't need any. We didn't need any sub. We were playing brilliantly, just like in the first half. So I don't think they were needed for any changes.
So Stuart, Pep was a master tactician during the game as well. He knew exactly not to sub when he had, not to panic and play the same guys who absolutely run themselves ragged. So Pep was okay then, Stuart. No problems with the substitutions. He did it all right, did he, on the day?
Yeah, I think he was all right. I think he did it perfectly. He let Chelsea play their full hand and then just countered them what they did. I would have brought, like you, Fernandinho on with like 15, 20 minutes to go or something, just because he can get his foot on it and he puts the challenge in and sort of gets control of the midfield a bit better, because it seems to be just getting bypassed a lot from Chelsea, just hoofing it forward, like you say. And Ferner gives you that bit where he will, if they even try running at him, he will just clatter someone and stop him dead in the tracks.
And Paul, just to finish us off on the game, mate, were you pining for Sterling to get on? He got on for that last 3 minutes of normal time, plus the injury time, of course. Did you think Sterling would actually put it out of sight and give us a 2-0 lead? Do you think that was a good tactical decision, putting Raheem on for that last 5 minutes?
Yeah, I think it was, because it just he was never going to score, was he? But it was always, it gave him something else to think about, didn't it? You know what I mean? He ties himself in knots sometimes, and he doesn't know what he's doing half the time. So if he doesn't know what he's doing, the defence don't know what he's doing. So he's fresh legs, and he's going to run a lot. So it was perfect. It was a perfect day yesterday. I genuinely thought that yesterday was the master plan unveiled by Pep. If Pep could show you his plans on a computer screen, that's exactly yesterday what you'd get. It was perfect. I mean, Bernardo was outstanding for me.
Yeah, well, we're going to come on to that now. We're going to come on to who you thought. Let's see, it's going to be hard, isn't it? I mean, I thought long and hard about my man of the match. I'll tell you in a moment. But I mean, they were all heroes yesterday. Let's be honest about it. Even Sterling, who came on for a few minutes, was a hero yesterday for us. But go on to you, Stuart. Man of the match for City yesterday.
Bernardo Silva ran his socks off all day, and even at the end, he was in our own penalty area, getting the ball and running it back out with like 2 minutes to go. He didn't stop all day. The guy was absolutely amazing, and he, for me, man of the match, probably the best game he's had in a while. I think but he fully deserves man of the match.
Abdul, do you agree, or do you go with someone else?
I would generally go with someone else. You would see everybody saying Bernardo, Rodri, or even Diaz, but I would actually go with Cancelo. He was the one that caused that first goal, shooting, deflecting onto Gabby's foot and into the goal. And I don't even think he's a left back. He genuinely feels like a left wing. He's so good for us in the attacking phase. So he's my man of the match.
Paul?
Yeah, I think, I was going to say Cancelo was in for a big shout with it. But just Diaz, and the way at the end, if he saw as the game finished, he's in the centre circle, punching the floor, celebrating. He's one of us, isn't he? He gets it. He absolutely gets what beat it. If Bernardo Silva, if one of us could play, we'd be in, wouldn't we? We'd be on that pitch, running round. Obviously, I ain't got the energy levels he's got. I think Abdul probably has, but the rest of us might be struggling a little bit. But if we that's how to make friends on our first podcast, is it? But no, I think we'd be in, wouldn't we? I mean, it's a smile on his face. He plays with every game he plays in. He's loving it, and brilliant energy. But the whole team, the press, that press yesterday, Chelsea didn't have a clue how to deal with it. As soon as they got the ball, 4 seconds later, it's back. We've got it back. We stole it off him and took it off him from behind, and it was amazing.
It was. I mean, it was an amazing display by City, by all the guys. I did plump for Bernardo. How could I not plump for my namesake? I did plump for Bernardo as my man of the match. But they were all heroes yesterday. I mean, perhaps a little bit of that against Southampton might have gone well. But hey, there you go. We can only go with what we're given. But obviously a great win, wasn't it, against Chelsea? But we move on, don't we? It's not long, is it? I mean, we don't get much time to enjoy these sort of things, and we certainly haven't this time. We're going on to old Champions League action. Obviously, the second game in 3 games that pretty much frightened me to death, to be honest with you, a week ago. But I feel a bit better now after that first game, to be honest with you. But we're at the Parc des Princes, aren't we, or Princes, or whatever it's called in Gay Paris on Tuesday evening. I thought it was Wednesday, so it's a good job I checked, because I might have slept through it or something like that. But I think we're going to rest some of these guys. I think some of these guys are going to be a bit tired, I think, to be honest with you. And I think this is a game, personally, we can probably afford to draw, or some people are saying even lose this game. It's not as important as it perhaps was now we've got a win against Chelsea. But obviously, as far as PSG, Abdul, what do you expect from that game? Do you expect Messi to play, for instance? He looks as though he may have an injury, but again, it might be mind games like Pep's playing. What do you expect from PSG? Do you think they'll, for the first time ever, beat City on Tuesday evening in the Champions League match day 2?
No, I don't think they'll ever beat us, because we've got that defense. Whether Messi plays, Neymar plays, Mbappe plays, whoever plays, we've got our Diaz, we've got our Stones, Maguire. Why did I say Maguire? Laporte, Diaz, and whoever. So we can actually contain these people. And obviously, the last time in the semi-finals, we've played against them. So we know how they play. Obviously, Messi, I'm not sure if he will play. He's injured. We've said certain reports, but if he does play, I don't genuinely see us losing. Actually, we can actually contain him. So hoping for a win, but a draw would be perfect for me.
Stuart, you heard what Abdul said there. Interesting. I mean, I personally don't think Diaz and Laporte will play. Sorry, one of them two won't play that played yesterday. I'm thinking, obviously, he won't bring Aki in, I don't think, but I think Stones will get a sort of run out in this one too much. I think he'll change 5 or 6 players. And on that basis, yes, we do, with our strongest team, yes, we do. We are quite capable, but it does worry me a little bit, Stuart, that he will make 5 or 6 changes for this. What's your impression? Do you think that as well?
I wouldn't make any changes, but he probably will make changes. But if he just changes Laporte for Stones, as long as Diaz is next to him, Stones is a rock as well. So I don't think that's much of an issue at the back. And I would just keep everything the same. But it's whether like De Bruyne can play another game because he's just coming back from injury. Foden's a bit the same, and he's just really getting back into it as well. So maybe change them 2 out as well, bring them on, or give them like 60 minutes or something rather than a full game.
Sure, I mean, Paul, surely, as Stuart was saying there, surely KDB and Phil Foden can play every game they want for the next couple of months, can't they? They've had plenty of rest, so we shouldn't have any problems, should we, against PSG? We've got KDB and Foden would start in that, you would think, or who do you think might be starting to sort of get the better of PSG?
I'm sort of with your thinking. I think he may start them both. And possibly bring them off like at weekend the game with KDB. He's obviously not match fit. I mean, that was quite apparent, I thought. So he's not 100% match fit. So bring him on at PSG, give him a bit of a rest. Then depending how he goes, he's got him for a weekend then against the Scousers, hasn't he? So I think he'll make some changes, and I'm. He needs to get a few players that may be a little bit ring rusty, perhaps, and give them a shake up. We don't want to change it too much. I think we mess about too much, and I know we've got a lot of games coming up, but it'd be nice to beat Paris Saint-Germain, because then I think pretty much qualification then, and we can rest latter games. It's just unfortunate we've got Chelsea, PSG, and the Scousers at weekend, and it kind of makes you have to think a little bit more, shall we say, of for the game at weekend, because I think that's more important than the Paris Saint-Germain game.
Yeah. So Stuart, Stuart, if we lost this, would you be disappointed?
I'd be disappointed, but I don't think it'd be the end of the world because they dropped points against Bruges, didn't they, in the first round, and we beat Leipzig. So I think if to go there and win is the ideal scenario, obviously. And then, like Paul was just saying, then if you can win that, and then you pick up points in the double header against Bruges, you pretty much won the group. And then you get the last 2 games, you can just rest the bigger name players and bring in some of the youngsters, and get them some experience, and while resting the other players for the Premier League.
Well, yeah, Abdul, you were quite confident before that we could obviously beat this PSG team if we play our best 11. What do you think if we sort of got beat? Would you be overly disappointed, or do you think there's plenty of games left? We're not going to struggle. We will beat them at home, and we got other Bruges. We'll beat them home and away. So, is that the way you think we should go, or do you think obviously it'd be a bad thing to get beaten by PSG at this stage?
No, actually, I don't think it would be a bad thing. But if we do lose, then obviously it's not great for us. A draw win would be good. But obviously, we've got other teams in the group as well. Club Brugge, Leipzig. If we can, just Paul and Stuart said that if we keep winning these drawings, we can actually qualify. So it's fine. So if we lose to them, but obviously, I'm hoping for either a win or a draw. But let's see what happens.
Yeah, a similar thing to you, Paul. I mean, let's face it, Pep played some mind games with Chelsea last season. It didn't quite come off, did it? Let's be honest about it, when it came to team selection. Obviously, with PSG, do you think he's going to play mind games and sort of not worry so much about this game and sort of look forward, not perhaps concentrate too much on this first game? What do you think how Pep's going to play it?
Yeah, I think he'll play it down quite a bit, to be honest, and keep it as low-key as he can, trying, because let's have it. He doesn't need to play mind games, does he? He's a clever fella. The players, do everything he asks. He doesn't need to play mind games. Leave that to the others. Let him just let the team do his talking like he did against Chelsea at weekend. If he'd have done that, we'd have no problems in the Champions League final, would we?
No. Well, before we leave the PSG game, obviously PSG and City are joint sort of favourites if you shop around to win this Champions League. Abdul, do you think that's correct, or is there someone else that you're worried about? I personally think the English teams will do well again this season, and obviously a certain German team. Is there anything apart from PSG and City, can you see anyone else lifting it?
Not really, to be fair. But if we do see other teams Bayern, obviously with Nagelsmann coming in, obviously they've been playing brilliantly. They have a very good chance. Chelsea, I'm hoping they don't win it again. That's for sure. Otherwise, otherwise other teams are not really. They don't even have a chance. Obviously, I want us to win, so we have a really good chance. We've been playing brilliantly. If we do keep playing the way we are, then we can definitely win this whole thing.
To you, Paul, what do you think? Anyone a danger this, apart from ourselves, which obviously probably beat us last season, to be honest with you? We probably beat ourselves, didn't we? Do you see any real dangers to either PSG or City getting almost, to the semis and the final anyway?
Well, they're an awesome team, aren't they? Is it Young Boys, are they called? I think they're an absolutely amazing, strong team, and I think they've got a good chance of winning it, But all joking apart, no, I can't. It's for us to lose again, isn't it? We can lose this Champions League. I don't think anybody really on the day should come near to us.
Stuart, what do you think?
I'm the same. Yeah, I'm the same as Paul. Really, I think it's ours there. We can win it. We can go on and win it. Whether we rotate right at the right time, because obviously with City, they're not just going to say, we're not going to try and win anything else. We're just going to go all out for the Champions League. Which if they did that and focused solely on the Champions League, I don't see anybody stopping us. But because they won the League Cup and the FA Cup, and they want to do it all in the same season every year, it becomes hard, doesn't it? Towards the end of the season, players are desperately tired. And I know they probably shouldn't be, but they are, because they're playing a load of football. But yeah, other than us or PSG, I'd probably say Chelsea have got the best chance. Yeah,
I won't disagree. As I say, I think Liverpool might surprise us as well, but we'll see. Just before we finish on this PSG one, give us a scoreline, Abdul. I'll put you on the spot. What score do you think, City PSG?
Hopefully, I'm hoping for a clean sheet, so I'm going to go with at least 2-0 for us. 2-0 City.
That's 2-0. Paul, what do you think, mate?
2-1 for City.
Cool. Stuart?
Same as Paul, I put 2-1 City on the Soccer 6 thing as well.
Well, there you go. I mean, I'm the glass half empty guy. I'll be happy with 1-1, to be honest. Something like 0-0 or 1-1 will do me, to be honest.
You never know what's going to happen in this match. So
well, you know me.
Maybe one of us could be right.
I have been quite positive actually the last couple of seasons, more so than normal. But I think I don't know. I just something about it. I don't think they'll beat us, but I just think we'll sort of play a little bit within ourselves, to be honest with you. But that's my little thoughts. But obviously, PSG is a little matter, isn't it? We're not too worried about that. And then interesting coming up next weekend. We've got a little trip to Anfield, 4:30 p.m. kickoff. Last game before the international break. It's always horrible to lose a game before an international break because you want to recover, don't you, lads? Let's be honest about it. I'm going to come to you first, Stuart. I won't particularly just mention the game. I mean, a lot of Liverpool fans are thinking it's their title again this season. Before we go there and see what they're made of, do you think they're correct in thinking it might be their title again?
I think they've got a good chance, but no, I don't think they'll win it. But I think they'll be there or thereabouts. I think it's going to be the closest one we've had for a while. I think there'll be 3 or 4 teams up there close on points towards the end of the season. But we have to go there and win this weekend.
Yeah, Paul. I mean, let's face it. I mean, they're not going to get within 30 points of us, surely. What do you think of the title? Not the game on Sunday, just at the moment. But do you think they are serious challenges?
They kind of got to be, haven't they? If you listen to all the press and the media, they've won it already, haven't they? So they kind of got to be. Let them get on with it. Let the press and the media think Liverpool are going to win it, and we'll just do what we do, get on with it, pick them off, and keep going. I can't see Liverpool doing it at the end of it. They'll get injuries again, and they've got no strength in depth. So no matter what happens at weekend, I can't see them winning it again because they'll phase out again because there's no strength in depth.
Abdul, do you agree with that? Do you think they haven't got the depth again? They're not going to get the luck. Let's face it, they had a hell of a lot of luck the season they won it with injuries-wise. Do you think that? I know they've lost one of the young lads. I can't remember his name now. Hasn't got a serious injury, didn't he, recently? But do you agree, Abdul? Do you think you don't think they're going to be a problem for City this season?
Yeah, I agree with whatever Paul said, obviously, about the depth, that they're might have some injuries, obviously, than the depth. But instead of Liverpool, I would see that the many teams have a chance to win the title. Obviously, us, Chelsea, Liverpool, and even Brighton are up there. So who knows, maybe they might win.
Seagulls.
Yeah, so I hopefully, hopefully we'll win it. If we don't, then I would probably see Liverpool win it other than United. Anyone but United.
Absolutely. So it takes us to the Liverpool game. Then obviously a fantastic win there last season, wasn't it? Absolutely brilliant. About time as well. I've been 3 times. I've seen us draw twice, so that's not a bad record for me. So that's not bad at all. But let's be honest about it. There's no crowd there. There's no cop there last year, was there, guys? There's no booing us every time we touch the ball or whistling or anything like that. Do we really? I'll come to you first, Stuart. Do we really have the bottle to go there and win in front of a crowd this season? Do a back-to-back? What do you think?
Yeah, I think we do. I think we've got it this year. I think every year we're going to win there, and then we never do. But I think this time we will go, and I think they'll play the same way as they have been playing. If you press them, you've got them, I think. And normally you've just got to weather a 15-minute storm at the start of each half with them. And if you can get through that, you've got a good chance against them because to try and hit you dead quick and demoralise you. I think if you can get through the first 15, 20 minutes unscathed, then I think we've got a good chance to beat them.
On to you, Paul. Yeah, I mean, let's face it. I mean, they usually sort of come at us at we have to keep a clean sheet, basically, don't we? If we can survive that first 15, 20 minutes, we're usually all right. But unfortunately, quite recently, apart from last season, we usually sort of give them goals, don't we? We seem to sort of be a bit of a rabbits in headlights to me when we go to Anfield. And that, I do worry that although last year it was great, I do think we could be the same again. We could be like those little rabbits in the headlights again. What do you think, Paul?
Oh, it's that amazing cop, isn't it? That amazing atmosphere. They come at us for 15 minutes. It's very similar to the crowd. They sing the piped-in music into the stadium, don't they? They're You'll Never Walk Alone, and all the volumes turned up. Everybody's singing. The TV turns the volume down. Everybody stops talking while this national anthem of the Scousland is being played. That's the same as they play. They sing for a couple of minutes and then they shut up then, and you hear nothing from them. If once we score a goal against them, they will shut up and they'll start walking home. They'll be never walk alone. They'll be going home because they won't be able to cope. They won't be able to handle it. Once we score one goal, they'll crumble. Andy Robertson, he'll get sent off because he'll get petulant. It's next week. I'm always worried about it because you never want to get beat by them. But next week, I think we'll have too much for them. I think they'll crumble.
Well, Abdul, I'm going to put Paul in the changing rooms before the match because I'm sure they can inspire our boys. Abdul, what do you think? Are you as keen and excited and up for it as Paul obviously is at the moment?
Yeah, obviously, I think we have a very good chance of beating. Obviously, with the crowd coming, the fans, they're going to give both teams the amount of energy they need to push it. So obviously, I believe it's going to be neck and neck. But as Paul said, that they might have foul Andy Robertson, Trent Alexander-Arnold. We have that strength and the fans pushing us because I've seen that even in the Chelsea game, they've been singing their hearts out even more than the Chelsea fans. So I believe that even at Anfield, we will dominate this Liverpool team. And obviously what Paul said again, if we score one goal, they'll be quiet, pin drop silence. And then they said, never walk alone. They'll walk alone with 0 points. So I hope. So I hope, yes, we beat them.
Right, Paul, back to you then. I'm not going to ask you for a score on this one, but I'll just ask you the question: will a point be good enough? I mean, obviously you've hinted that we're going to beat them, but say the worst comes to the worst, and we do act a bit, and we do get a goal or two up, and then we bottle it, and Ederson comes running out and kicks it straight to their player to score a goal or something like that. We know he's liable to. He can do this sort of thing, So I mean, I wouldn't be disappointed with a point. To be honest with you, again, Mr. Glass half full here. I wouldn't be disappointed with a point at Anfield. I'd love to stuff them again 4-1. That'd be really, really nice. But would you be disappointed in a point, Paul, if we just came away with a point?
Not in the slightest. I said at the beginning of these 3 games, if we can get 4 points out of it, I'm happy. I don't know how we're going to get them, but if we get 4 points out of these, two games, that'd be brilliant. So we've already got 3, so I'd settle for 1. If we can get the full points at Liverpool, brilliant. But as you say, there's bound to be some controversial diving that Salah does, isn't there? There's going to be something, isn't there? They'll never win it squarely. They'll do something dodgy will happen. We know they will.
Stuart, are you be disappointed then with a loss, or would you sort of be happy with it if we scrape a point in the last minute with a Mahrez penalty into the top corner this time, not like some other guy. But what do you think, mate? I mean, I know we want to win, don't we? But would a point do? Would a point be okay?
Yeah, a point would be fine. I think, like Paul was saying then, with the 2 league games that we've had, everyone was thinking all doom and gloom. We won 1. If we get a point, we got 4 points out of a possible 6. I think that's pretty respectable, isn't it?
Absolutely. Abdul, to you, will you be happy with a point at the end of the day?
I'll definitely be happy with the point. Obviously, it's Liverpool, a tough team. I'll be happy with the point. Yeah, sure. We'll probably be on top of it, as what Stuart said. Now, after 2 games, everybody said we were out and about. But even last season, that we were out and about, but we won the league. So I'll be happy with the point.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I'm a bit of glass half full. I'll be well happy with another draw. I'm a boring answer. I'll be well happy with another draw at Anfield. But if say we can replicate anything like what we did last season, that would be fantastic. Before we're going to wind this little first one up, I think I've had a great little chat. I'm just got an interesting one here. Obviously, a week ago, we were looking forward to Chelsea, PSG, and Liverpool, and the managers of those 3 clubs are well respected, more or less, from different areas. Pep may only have another year and a bit left. He may be leaving us, although he's denied it, of course. But I'll tell you what, if the chairman turned to you and said, well, all these 3 guys want to come and manage Manchester City, they're all up for it. I've got to pick one. So who would you want? Would you want Tuchel? Would you want Pochettino? Or would you want Klopp managing City? Just as a little bit of fun, just to see going forward. Abdul, what would you think if the chairman came up to you and said, look, Abdul, mate, these guys want to manage City. Pep's going to have a rest. He's going to have a rest for a couple of years. He might come back, but he's going to have a rest. What would you say? Who would you have in the hot seat to take over from Pep if Vincent Kompany wasn't available, of course?
I'll definitely take Jurgen Klopp. The way that he's transformed this Liverpool team has been amazing. He plays beautiful football. I would say he's up there with Pep. Obviously, there's a lot of rivalry in the Bundesliga, Dortmund, Bayern, and obviously now here, City, Liverpool. Jurgen Klopp would be a brilliant replacement for Pep.
Stuart, what do you think?
Out of those 3, I'd go Pochettino, me, even though everybody else disagrees with me, but I think I'd go Poch out of the 3 of them.
Why?
Well, he did all right at Spurs, I suppose. He did well at Southampton, and he's obviously going to do all right at PSG because they've got a top team, haven't they? But I'd have him. I like the way he plays football, and it's probably the most closest to Pep, I suppose, the way he wants to play. So you want to keep trying that through because Pep's going to be on the touchline. Is going to be replacing Kompany was at the back.
Well, I must admit, I should have put Arteta in there, shouldn't I, as well, to come back. But probably not a wise idea. Paul, what would your thoughts? Do you want to go for Tuchel, Paul? Because no one's going for poor old Tuchel. I mean, come on. Who would you want to see?
Definitely not Klopp. Can't stand the fella. Is Sam Allardyce not available? No. Can I not pick him? No.
No, it's those 3 guys. They've sort of come to you. They've paid us. They paid us to manage us. They want.
They're on the knees.
Yeah, they're on the knees. So that's it. They're on the knees, literally. So which one, mate? Which one are we picking?
I'd have to go with Poch because I can't stand the other two. It's just a demeanour. They're not City managers, are they? You know, you get like a player that you could never have at City, you know, like Ferdinand or Neville.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Ronaldo. He's a typical United. He couldn't come to City because he won't fit in. Pochettino looks like a decent guy, and I think he could fit in. The other two, not having Klopp. No, never in. I'd have his brother Clipperty, but not him.
I must admit, I'd have to agree with Paul. I wouldn't really. I mean, even Klopp without his glasses. I mean, I can't quite get used to that face without the glasses, to be honest with you. And Tuchel, I mean, it just bored us to death. It'd be Stuart Pearce all over again, or various incarnations, wouldn't it, if we had him? So I would have to go for Pochettino. You know, he's a serial loser, obviously. Let's see how much of a serial loser he is this season, obviously, as far as we're concerned in the Champions League. But I would have to go to Pochettino as well. So anyway, before we go, guys, on this first show, it's been great having you. Abdul, any last thoughts?
No, not really, but I would just hope that for the next two matches, let's go City. Hopefully we get those wins.
I think we agree with that, don't we, Paul? Any last thoughts on anything you want to have a mention of?
Keep queuing up, getting your petrol because it's lining our pockets. It's absolutely fantastic. Every United fan in that queue, bring it on.
Stuart, no doubt you filled up yesterday. You know, we shouldn't have to. We should get free passes, shouldn't we? Let's be honest about it. We should have to fill up being City fans. But any thoughts from you, Stuart, before we leave the public today?
I filled up on something yesterday, but it wasn't petrol, I tell you. It was a very long day. But no, just get 6 points over the next 2 games and we should be all right.
Absolutely. Well, I think it's been an excellent first episode, guys. I hope everyone out there is going to enjoy it, who's going to watch it, and hopefully we'll be back very soon for another Threes Company, a Fours Company. I have no idea what it's going to be called, but I'm sure we'll be all right. So I'd like to thank my guests today, Abdul, Paul, and Stuart. A wonderful podcast. Give us a wave, guys, and say goodbyes, because I'm going to try and end this now. I will end the broadcast, and hopefully we'll all see you again very, very soon. Thanks for watching, guys. Everyone, please stay safe.